Have you ever stopped to think about why, even working so hard, you never seem to have enough money left at the end of the month? Stay with me until the end, because maybe the problem isn't your salary, but rather the car you chose to finance. And before you think I'm talking about driving an old car or lack of ambition, let me ask you another provocative question. Do you really know how much you're paying for the car you drive? Or do you only know the amount of the monthly payment? What you are about to discover may surprise you, perhaps even disturb you a little. But it is precisely this discomfort that opens your eyes to the truth that no one has told you. Most people believe they're getting a good deal when they leave the dealership with that new car smell, the feeling of accomplishment, and a payment that fits their budget. But behind that moment lies an entire system built to convince you that the low payment is all that matters. And that's where the problem begins. Because when you only look at the payment number, you don't realize you've just signed a contract. Or up to 72 payments that will drain your financial life. You're not paying for a car. You're paying the price for ignoring the only rule that could have saved your salary. The famous Rule 20 Session 410. And do you know why this happens to so many people? Because in the United States, there's a very strong culture of buying new cars, constantly upgrading, changing models like you change cell phones. It's a lifestyle beyond your actual income, fueled by emotional marketing that makes you believe you deserve this car. Just sign here. Don't worry, the monthly payment will be very low. Have you ever experienced this? That smiling salesperson, the perfect background music, the promise of status and freedom, all designed to make you focus only on the monthly payment, never on the total cost. And the worst part is that this happens to intelligent, hard-working, disciplined people. It's not a lack of effort. It's not a lack of will. It's the system. A system that knows exactly how the American consumer's mind works. Present a shiny car, hide the interest rates, spread the feeling that everyone has a new car, and that's it. One more person trapped in a loan that will eat up years of work. The obsession with low monthly payments has become a silent trap. A trap that seems comfortable at first, but exacts a very high price later. And perhaps you're realizing now that all this time, it wasn't the car that was in control. It was the financing. Because when the payment becomes too large for your income, when the term is too long, when the interest rates are too high, the bill arrives. And it always arrives heavier than you imagine. And this is exactly where I want to take you, to understand why this situation repeats itself with so many people. And what the 4-20-10 rule has to do with it. Because what comes next can truly change the way you make financial decisions from now on and before. Delving deeper into this reality that almost no one dares to face, let me ask you something from the bottom of my heart. If this topic resonates with you, if any phrase here resonated with you, leave a comment below about what has resonated with you the most so far. Maybe you've already had the experience of going into a car dealership thinking you were getting a great deal, and only later realizing that the payment had become a burden. Maybe you're experiencing this right now, or maybe you're just trying to avoid falling into this trap. Sharing this isn't just venting, it's raising awareness. It's helping other people who are experiencing the same situation and don't even realize it. And if you feel that this content is opening your eyes, that it's bringing clarity to financial decisions that truly change a life, then go ahead and give it a like now. It's not just an automatic gesture. It's the simplest way to show YouTube that this kind of conversation matters. When you like it, the algorithm understands that this topic is relevant and takes this message to more people who are also stuck with long-term financing, high interest rates, and choices that could have been different. And of course, if you want to keep watching videos like this that tell the truth without beating around the bush, that show you what nobody explains about money, consumption, and financial freedom, take advantage and subscribe to the channel. Your subscription isn't just a number, it's what allows this type of content to continue existing, growing, and reaching those who need to hear it today. This channel only makes sense because you're here, because you participate, because you're part of this construction. Your presence, your comments, your likes. All of this helps create a community that no longer accepts being trapped in cycles that drain salaries and kill dreams. And it's precisely because we understand this collective strength that we can now move forward together to the next part, where I'll show you why the 24-10 rule isn't just a technical recommendation, but a real dividing line between those who control their own money and those who end up being controlled by it. Let's continue. The truth is that the 4-20-10 rule exists because, without it, you enter a territory where decisions cease to be rational and become too emotional to protect your own future. When you don't put down at least 20%, you start the journey already owing more than the car is actually worth. And this creates a kind of invisible current that pulls you down from day one. It's like starting a hike already tired, knowing that each step will require more strength than it should. And most people don't even realize this, because the focus is on the shine of the new car, not on the financial aspects that come later. Financing for a maximum of 4 years isn't a rule invented by annoying people. It's a line of defense against interest rates that, in the United States, act like a silent, wage-destroying machine. The longer the term, the greater the feeling of comfort, and the higher the price you pay for that false sense of security. There's a hidden truth here. Immediate comfort is the greatest enemy of financial freedom, and when you accept financing for 60, 68, or 72 months, you're agreeing to extend that loss long enough to compromise not only the present, but the entire impact of your future choices. And when the payment exceeds 10% of your income, something even deeper happens. It's not just the money that disappears every month, it's your autonomy. You start working to maintain the car, not to build real transformation in your life. With each payment, you feel like you're moving forward, but you're not progressing. It's like driving down a beautiful road that always leads you to the same point, without progress, without growth, without any kind of revelation or true advancement. That's the part that hurts, and it's the part that almost no one talks about. Because, behind the scenes of this market, there's a huge incentive for you to only believe the installment number. Dealers want you to mentally repeat that phrase. As it stands, it fits my budget. They know that when you only look at the installment, you don't look at the total. And when you don't look at the total, you don't realize you're falling into a trap disguised as an opportunity. Today, the average financing term exceeds 68 months. That's not financing, it's capture. It's a strategy that works because it relies on haste, emotion, and a lack of clear information. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject because understanding the origin of this rule is only the first step. There's a whole mindset behind it, a logic built to protect you from choices that seem small, but have a gigantic impact over the years. And when you start to see this logic, you also begin to realize how each financial decision is a piece of a much larger puzzle, which determines not only the car you drive, but the path you take. Comment below. That makes sense to me. It's curious how, when we talk about financial decisions, we almost always imagine that everything boils down to numbers, calculations, and spreadsheets. But in reality, most of the choices that hold us back in life stem from emotion. And in the case of a car, this emotion is constantly fueled. There's a very well-constructed discourse behind the phrase, "you deserve this car," which evokes a feeling of immediate reward, as if the new car were a medal for your effort. And that's precisely where the hidden truth lies. This feeling of merit, although legitimate, is manipulated to push you towards a seemingly harmless signing, but one that completely changes the course of your financial journey. The feeling of status also weighs heavily. It's no secret that, especially in American culture, a car has become a symbol, a calling card, and when you see everyone changing models every 2 or 3 years, it's natural to feel like you're falling behind. This creates a huge psychological impact because it affects your self-perception, your desire to belong, to keep up with the pace, to not seem like someone who is falling behind. This is where the famous financial FOMO is born. The idea that if you don't get in the game now, you'll miss out on something everyone else is already enjoying. But perhaps the most dangerous aspect is the false sense of security offered by small monthly payments. It's astonishing how a seemingly low number can silence any warning signs. When the salesperson says, "It's only this much per month," your brain doesn't think about interest, doesn't think about the term, doesn't think about the total. It only thinks about immediate comfort. The payment becomes an anesthetic, an emotional relief that distracts you from the enormous commitment being made. This is the silent trap that ensnares most people. You buy the dream and finance the nightmare. And the most important thing to Tainrik understand here is that this doesn't happen because you're disorganized or irresponsible. It's not your fault. It's an entire system built to make bad decisions seem completely normal. Advertising reinforces it, culture reinforces it, friends reinforce it, and suddenly what should be carefully analyzed becomes just another automatic step in your routine. It's as if everyone is walking in the same direction without noticing the huge hole just ahead. And when someone tries to row against this current, it seems strange, out of the ordinary, almost uncomfortable. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because when you understand the emotional engineering behind these choices, you also begin to see how every detail influences your mindset, your financial transformation, and even your relationship with money itself. There's much more happening behind the scenes than most people imagine, and that's what paves the way for important revelations about freedom, control, and responsibility towards yourself. Write this down. I'm on this journey too. When you start putting the numbers on the table, everything that seemed like just a detail becomes a shock that's hard to ignore. Because it's not just about buying a more expensive car than you should. It's about how a long-term loan transforms something common into an expense that consumes your energy, your goals, and even your peace of mind. A car that costs $35,000 can easily become $50,000 when spread over long installments, and the most impressive thing is that almost no one notices this happening. The total value is hidden within the installment, as if the monthly number could erase the hidden truth behind the contract. This is the part that hurts, because it reveals a financial impact that goes far beyond what your eyes can see at the time of purchase. And if we compare that cost with what it could be building in your life, the scenario becomes even clearer. The money lost in interest could be fueling your retirement, guaranteeing security later on, when every dollar invested makes a difference in the quality of your future. It could be the start of a solid emergency fund, capable of protecting you against unforeseen events, giving you autonomy and stability in difficult situations. It could even be the down payment on your first home, something that generates real wealth, something that grows, appreciates, and truly transforms your wealth-building journey. And realizing that all of this is sacrificed for the simple desire to have a car now is one of the most sincere moments of financial awareness. The weight of opportunity cost is precisely this. You don't just lose money, you lose time. You lose years of work dedicated to paying for something that shouldn't cost so much. You lose the freedom to make better choices. You lose the space to live with less pressure. You lose the chance to direct your resources towards something that truly builds a future. And this realization, when it arrives, completely changes your relationship with consumption. Because when you buy the wrong car, it's not the dealership that pays the bill. It's you, every month, for years. This revelation has the power to transform your mindset because it shows you that the true price of a purchase isn't in the installment amount, but in the impact it has on your life as a whole. That's why so many people feel like they're always chasing after something, always late, always with the feeling that the money disappears before it arrives. It's not bad luck. It's not lack of effort. It's decisions that seem small in the present, but carry a continuous, silent, and profound effect. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding the real cost is just the gateway to seeing how these choices connect with your freedom, your goals, and how you build your financial path. There are more important revelations to explore, and each one opens up space for a more conscious and strategic journey. Comment below. That makes sense to me. The truth is, there comes a point in everyone's financial life when the mask falls. You look at your bank statement, at the seemingly endless installments, at the exhaustion that hits at the end of the month, and you realize it wasn't the car that was expensive. It was the silent decisions that came with it. And it's precisely at that moment that many people understand, too late, that the 4-20-10 rule isn't rigid advice. It's a shield. A limit created to prevent you from entering into commitments that drain your freedom, your energy, and even your ability to dream. The rule is tough, yes. It confronts, it demands, it seems restrictive, but the price of ignoring it is infinitely higher. And you feel that impact firsthand when you realize you're tied to a loan that isn't moving you forward. When you accept a 72-month contract, you're not just buying a car. You're handing over 6 years of your life to a commitment that grows while the car depreciates. And this is the part almost no one tells you. The car loses value, but the interest doesn't. It continues, month after month, sucking away a portion of your salary and your peace of mind. It's an unequal exchange that steals opportunities, postpones projects, and creates a cycle of stagnation disguised as achievement. There's a hidden truth behind all this. It's not the car that holds you back. It's the financing. It settles into your life so deeply that before you know it, it's shaping your choices, your habits, and even your vision of the future. And it's precisely because I understand this dynamic that I need to be direct here. There are times when it's impossible to soften the message, because softening it only prolongs the problem. The 24/10 rule is harsh. I know. It goes against impulse, against culture, against the perfect marketing of dealerships. It goes against that inner voice that says, everything will be all right. But much harder is being stuck for 72 months paying interest on a car that doesn't move you forward. That's not stability. It's stagnation. It's not freedom. It's dependence. And that's why I ask you to really register what I'm about to say, because every word comes from a deep analysis of the behind the scenes of consumption. Either you control the car, or the car controls every salary you earn from now on. This is the kind of revelation that changes not only your relationship with money, but the way you view your decisions. Because the next car you finance incorrectly could cost you a future you haven't even begun to build. It could delay dreams, compromise goals, and create a constant feeling that you're always chasing something you never reach. And it doesn't have to be that way. There's a more conscious, more strategic path, more aligned with the freedom you truly desire. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because when you understand this dynamic, you begin to see not only the problem, but also the possibilities for transformation that arise when the mindset changes. There are more layers to explore, and they reveal how small decisions shape entire trajectories. Write this down. I needed to hear that. If you've made it this far, you can tell this topic has truly resonated with something important within you. So, if it makes sense, subscribe to the channel, not out of obligation, but because this type of conversation can help you make lighter, more conscious decisions with a real impact on your financial life. We're building a space for clarity and transformation, and it would be great to have you walking this path with us. And also, leave a comment saying, "This message was for me," just so I know you stayed with me until the end, and that this content made a difference in your perspective on money and choices. This creates a genuine connection between us and helps keep this exchange open and true. If you want to leave a like, feel free. It just shows me that this type of conversation is worthwhile, and that I can continue bringing content that truly changes the way you see your financial journey. And before you go, there's a video here that perfectly complements what we talked about today. Click and continue the conversation there. There's still a lot of room for growth,